psychology, why your brain struggles with time, and what you can do to help yourself. I'm glad that you are here today. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you are new, you don't want to miss anything coming. How many times this week have you said, I'll do it later, and you have procrastinated? And how did that go? Most time management advice focuses on systems and tools, calendars, applications, productivity, hacks, and still people are continuing to struggle. Why? Because the real problem is not about it's a system, it's a psychology problem. And today we are going to discuss about time management psychology, why your brain struggles with time, and you will learn about neuroscience of time perception, why procrastination is emotional and not motivational, and about ADHD and time perception. And I will also share with you some time management strategies. So first of all, how your brain perceives time. Time is constructed by your brain, and here is something most people don't know about it. Time is not something you passively experience, it's something your brain actively constructs. And there is no single time center in the brain. Time perception involves multiple regions, including basal ganglia, cerebellum, prefrontal cortex, insular cortex, that are all working together. And because it's constructed, it's highly subjective. It's influenced by emotion, attention, novelty, dopamine, and age. And why does time fly when you are having fun? It can be because of high dopamine, high engagement, brain's internal clock might be running fast. And why does waiting feel endless? It can be because of low stimulation, brain's clock maybe slows down. And why there is a near miss accident feel like slow motion? Because of extreme arousal, sensory processing speeds up dramatically. And understanding this is the first step to working with your brain, not against it. So what is time blindness, and how to cope with it? Now a concept that will change how many of you see yourself and time. Coined by ADHD expert Russell Barkley, time blindness refers to difficulties perceiving time accurately, specifically in the future. And for most people, time exists in 3 zones, including past, present, and future, and they can mentally see and think about the future. But for people with time blindness, there are only 2 zones. They are now and not now. And the future doesn't feel real. Deadlines might feel abstract and until they are immediate. And this is not laziness, it's not carelessness, it's a difference in how the brain processes the time. And it's extremely common in ADHD, but also in varying degrees in general population. So ADHD and time. ADHD is fundamentally at its core a disorder of time management. And Dr. Barkley describes ADHD not as an attention deficit, but as a deficit in self-regulation across time. And people with ADHD have difficulties with estimating how long tasks take, getting started on tasks, especially uninteresting ones, and transitioning between tasks and managing long-term projects and working toward future goals. And if you are sitting here thinking that's me, and you were never assessed for ADHD, it might be worth exploring. ADHD in adults is massively underdiagnosed, especially in women. And whether or not you have ADHD, the brain-friendly strategies can help you to manage your time better. First of them, so procrastination might be emotional. So here is the most important thing I'll say today about procrastination. Procrastination is not a time management problem, it's an emotional regulation challenge. And research by Timothy Pichela and Carleton University shows this clearly. We procrastinate to escape negative emotions, challenging emotions, not because we are bad at managing time, but because it might be difficult to manage your emotions. And when a task feels boring, challenging, anxiety-inducing, overwhelming, confusing, or threatening, or if there is a self-image, we avoid it and we reach for something that makes us feel better now. If this sounds familiar, that's because it's universal. We all do this. So Fushi series at the University of Sheffield found that chronic procrastinators have higher levels of stress, anxiety, and poorer health conditions. It's not because they are lazy, but because the guilt and shame of procrastination creates a chronic stress cycle. And in 2013, neuroimaging study found that procrastinators have a larger amygdala size because emotional brain and weaker connections between amygdala and the dorsal anterior similar cortex, which helps translate intentions and actions. In other words, procrastinating brain is more emotionally reactive and less able to override those emotions with action. And this is not a character flaw, it's related with neuroscience and how your brain works. So here's painful cycle most procrastinators know well. First of all, the task might be feeling threatening or unpleasant, or you might have anxiety and you start to avoid it, feel immediate relief, guilt and shame follow, and guilt makes the task feel even more threatening and you start to avoid it more. So self-criticism doesn't break this cycle. Research shows that self-compassion does. A study by Kristen Neff and Michael Hell found that students who forgive themselves for procrastinating on their first exam procrastinated less on their second exam, and self-forgiveness broke the shame avoidance cycle. And what research actually shows, most people, popular time management advice from Pomodoro, getting things done, time blocking has limited scientific evidence, not because they are wrong, but because they don't address the emotional root and emotional aspect of procrastinating. So what does have strong evidence? First of all, implementing intentions. Research by Peter Goldweiser shows that one of the most powerful ways to follow through on intentions is implementing intentions. Instead of I will exercise more, say when X happens, I will do Y. For instance, when I sit down at my desk at 9 a.m. on Monday, I will open the report first. So studies show implementation intentions increase goal achievement by 200-300%. And this when-then structure removes decision fatigue and links behavior to a cue. And task decomposition. Large tasks are anxiety-inducing and the brain avoids them because they feel overwhelming. And breaking tasks into small, concrete steps removes this barrier. And research shows that smaller the first step, the more likely you are to start. So the 2-minute rule, if it takes less than 2 minutes, do it now, works better because it removes the activation energy barrier. And energy management, over time management. Research by Tony Schwartz and Catherine McCarthy shows it's not time that's yours most limited resource, it's energy, and physical, emotional, mental, spiritual energy. And managing your energy is related with sleep, nutrition, movement, recovery, has a bigger impact on productivity than any scheduling system. And what is the role of self-compassion in productivity too? As mentioned, self-compassion reduces procrastination. Treating yourself with the same kindness you would show a friend when you fail breaks the shame cycle, and shame is one of the biggest barriers to getting started. And first of all, name the emotion first. Before you try to manage your time, name what you are feeling about the task. For instance, I'm avoiding this report because it feels overwhelming. I'm not starting because I don't know where to begin. And research by Matthew Lieberman at UCLA shows that labeling emotion effect, labeling reduces its intensity. It activates prefrontal cortex and reduces amygdala response. So once you name emotion, you have a choice. You are no longer just reacting. And try this. Think of one task you've been avoiding, name the emotion. And so once you name the emotion, you have a choice. You are no longer reacting to it. So after naming the emotion, now it doesn't feel like you can go deeper. Is it being bored, afraid, overwhelmed, unclear? And what's the smallest step you can take even in the presence of this emotion? The hardest part of any task is starting, and once you start, generally momentum takes over. And minimum viable action. What is the absolute smallest version of the task you could do right now? It's not write the report or opening the document, not going to the gym, but putting on your workout clothes. And research shows that beginning a task, even incompletely, creates a psychological tension called as Zeigarnik effect, and your brain stays engaged with unfinished tasks and naturally wants to complete them. So strategies make the starting cost so low that it's almost ridiculous, then standing itself creates momentum. And for people with time blindness, time needs to be visible, not just felt but seen, and using a visual timer like a time timer that shows time passing as a shrinking disk, not a digital clock, and a visual representation. So using analog clocks, research shows people underestimate time more with digital clocks. And this stamp your day, write the actual time next to every task you complete. This will build time awareness gradually. So creating time anchors, fixed points in your day around which you organize everything else. For instance, if you have a meeting at 2 p.m., I need to finish another meeting at 1:30. And developed by behavioral economist Catherine Milkman, temptation bundling is another interesting simple. Pair a task you avoid with something you genuinely enjoy. Only listen to your favorite podcast while doing admin work. Only watch your favorite show while folding laundry, or only have your favorite coffee while answering emails. So research shows this significantly increases likelihood of doing avoided tasks and even starting to enjoy them. So enjoyable thing is only available during the avoided task, not before, not after. So we've been mainly discussing about time management strategies, why it happens and what you can do to help yourself, whether you have ADHD or not. And I hope this session was useful for you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave your questions in the comments. I will be answering them in the next videos. So also there were some questions you asked me before. First of all, is procrastination always bad? No, sometimes what looks like procrastination is actually strategic delay, waiting for more information, letting ideas incubate. And the key question is this delay serving you or harming you? And how do you stop underestimating time is practicing planning fallacy antidote. When estimating time, think of similar past tasks, not the ideal scenario. And research shows that looking at actual past performance improves time estimates dramatically. Always multiply your estimate by 1.5. And if you try everything and still can't start it, what's wrong? It's the struggle is severe and pervasive. You can consider ADHD assessment. Executive function challenges are neurological, not motivational. And there is no shame in getting the right support. You might have support in the form of psychotherapy or medications. And another question was, does caffeine actually help? It does for sustained attention and processing speed, but timing matters. Research by Andrew Haberman suggests that delaying caffeine 90 minutes after waking to avoid afternoon energy crashes, and it doesn't help with emotional avoidance, only attentional avoidance. So what did we cover today? Time is constructed by the brain and making it inherently subjective and malleable. Blindness is a real neurological phenomenon. It's not laziness, and procrastination is emotional avoidance, not a character flaw, and self-compassion is not soft. It's one of the most effective productivity tools that we have. And we spoke about 4 brain-friendly strategies. First of them, naming the emotion first, taking minimum viable action, externalizing time, and temptation bundle. And here is what I want you to take away. If you've been hard on yourself about procrastination, please stop it because it doesn't work. and the research shows it makes things even worse. And kindness towards yourself is the foundation of sustainable productivity. Like and share if this helped. Subscribe to weekly content and write in the comments what's the one task you've been avoiding and what the emotion underneath it. Be honest, no judgment here. And then our next webinar will be about emotional regulation, understanding and managing your emotions. And I hope to see you in the next sessions, in the next videos. Don't forget to subscribe and take good care of yourself. See you in the next videos.